Yeah, that's fine.
What is your American dream?
I was born in New York. My American dream is music, and DJing is the one thing that I love.
My family's from Puerto Rico. I was born and raised in the Bronx. My American dream is to achieve success and prosperity through my hard work.
I am from India. I do hope that each one of us realize our own humanity and start helping each other succeed. We are all humanity, and that's the least we should be able to do.
I am from Poland. My American dreams be close to my kids and my grandkids, be happy, enjoy daily life. My dreams are very humble.
I'm from Suriname, South America. My American dream is to take advantage of opportunities to excel at my talents.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Welcome everybody, it is Tuesday, June 29th. I am joined in studio with Jonathan, Yo-Yo Elias, and somewhere out in the stratosphere is the most beautiful co-host, certainly in the United States of America, perhaps the entire world. Jonathan and I both have agreed on that one.
Yes,
I'm sure the squad does too. Vanessa, how are you?
I'm great, fellas. I'm missing you boys.
Yeah, we miss you too.
You know, I was just thinking, I said, every day I wake up at like 6:30 in the morning, I come to work, I'm in the office by 8:30 a.m. I work a hard day. I don't even eat lunch sometimes. Sometimes I do like 5 minutes, I scoff it down. And most people at the end of the day at 6 o'clock, they say, you know what, I want to go home. Could have a beer.
Oh.
Sometimes people say, I want to have a good meal.
That sounds good.
Some people say, you know what, I just want to take a bath. I just want to relax and watch TV. You know what I do at the end of the day?
What do you do?
A live 2-hour show.
Absolutely.
That's what I do, just to relax at the end of the day, yes. All right, how was your day, Vanessa? Hot, right?
So far, so good. It is so hot out here, y'all. I'm still here in the area. It is blazing. I'm like, I don't even think it gets this humid in Miami.
Let me tell you something. Wherever you are, it's better than being here in the studio right now.
It's so hot.
It is so hot here. All right, all the stuff, it's just melting. Everything, just melting here. Melting right before our eyes. Let's say hello to the squad. Pepe Samuel, squad up. How are you? Maureen McFarland, squad up. Stargirl, how are you? Sasha Ford. Marco Shallard. Can we ask a question here? He wants to know, Yo-Yo. And the answer is, Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias.
Do one.
One question.
Yes.
He is no. He wants to know if he can ask a question.
Oh, that's the question.
That's the question.
Oh, absolutely.
The answer is yes. Absolutely, you ask your question here.
For.
Exactly. Who else we got here? Tanisha Brown. Good evening, everybody. Robert Jackson, squad up. Joan Ambitious Powell. By the way, next time there's a question, I'm asking Vanessa.
Right.
Willie L. Williams, squad up. How are you? And who else we got here? Dawn Harriet and Dion Reed saying squad up as well. Let's check out what's going on YouTube. Westman. By the way, we know who Westman is on Facebook. Pape, right? He's double fisting. Dev Hinvar. Hello, guys. He has a quick question. Vanessa, should I answer Dev's question?
Pre-question of the day ×2, I guess.
Yes. The answer, it's up to Vanessa. She's in charge of YouTube. She's boss lady.
Let's answer.
Answer it. All right. So Dev says hello. Thank Vanessa, by the way, Dev. Dev says, hello, guys. Quick question. If DACA recipient got a sponsor through their parents for a green card, will the recipient lose their DACA? Well, you're only going to lose your DACA once you get your green card. Before that, you're not losing your DACA. If you're adjusting your status, once you file your adjustment, you go from DACA to pending adjustment. But if you have a DACA and your parents, and you're over 21, and your parents just file an I-130 and you're on a waiting list for years, you still keep your DACA. So don't worry. You'll still be okay. Miloslav Minkov. By the way, a pre-comment of the day. There's a pre-question. Miloslav with a pre-comment of the day.
What is it?
He says, hey, Uncle Brad, Yo-Yo and Vanessa, welcome back. You're right. Everyone has a right to the American dream, and you guys make that possible by helping everyone to achieve their American dream. I like that.
I like that too.
All right, let's tell everybody what they're in for today while I get ready for some schmoozing.
All right, absolutely. All right, squad, you already know what time it is. It is time to start sharing on all platforms because we're about to start schmoozing with Brad, talking the headlines and immigration news, including the Biden administration closing emergency shelters for unaccompanied migrant children after the kids themselves spoke of substandard conditions.
And it's Tuesday, squad, so we will be sipping some celebrity tea with Brad, talking about Britney Spears and the BET Awards.
I feel bad for Britney, so I want to get into that at some point. I hope the butler brings some tea. Right now, you can call us. We do have lines open, 1-800-529-5465. You see us. You see the telephone number scroll across your screen. It scrolls on the bottom. You also see Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson with my head with a big sign that says ask me your immigration question. Our lines are open, so call us right now. Our first 14 callers will get your immigration question asked and answered. It is also the telephone number for law offices of Spar and Bernstein. So if you don't get through, and if we don't answer your immigration question, you want to speak to me directly, call that same number, 1-800-529-5465. It is the number for the law office. And later in the show, after our schmooze, after I answer your immigration questions, after we go to social media check-in, after we do our Braducation, our attorney spotlight, we're going to speak with Fire Department, FDNY, Fire Department of New York Lieutenant Sarinya Srisakul, the New York Fire Department's first Asian American female firefighter, about her career and the importance of diversity in her profession. And then after that, we're going to answer 9 questions in 50 seconds, or Yo-Yo and I go kabooey.
Yeah, hopefully we don't.
Yeah, I know how Vanessa likes. Vanessa's like, I'm not coming in for kabooey. All right, I'll stay right where I am.
Oh, no.
All right, you guys ready for schmoozing?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So Yo-Yo and Vanessa Jill has put in my hands the top 191 stories of the day. We have to parse it down a little bit. Let's see what's going on in the news. The Biden administration is preparing to close some emergency shelters for unaccompanied migrant children just weeks after considering expanding them. The move comes in the wake of testimonials from kids that shed light on really poor conditions at some of these sites, and they've opened up the administration to criticism from immigration advocates and immigration attorneys. Over the spring, the Biden administration set up more than a dozen so-called emergency intake sites to alleviate the overcrowding of border facilities, accommodate a record number of unaccompanied migrant children. Among the largest of those is a facility at the Fort Bliss near El Paso, Texas, that has a potential capacity for up to 10,000 beds. Officials previously discussed doubling the population of Fort Bliss from 5,000 to 10,000, but the uncertainty of those decisions comes with how many unaccompanied children are going to arrive after the surge this year. In May, Border Patrol encountered 13,906 unaccompanied migrant children. There's 790 unaccompanied migrant boys at the facility. Carlos Holigan, I'm going to give you my opinion in a second.
All right.
All right, let me just get through all of this. Carlos Holigan, one of the attorneys who visited the intake site, said in a court filing that the stressor children most frequently reported at Fort Bliss was not knowing how long they would remain separated from their loved ones. And you want to know what this all comes down to? Money, money, money.
Yeah.
You want to know why?
Why?
Because people make money jailing people. Period. These are still private jails. People make money. There are U.S. companies that make money jailing people. It costs money to put people in a jail. It costs money to feed them. It costs money to house them. It costs money to keep them secure and give them medical. And everything, by the way, is very subpar because their only goal is keep them alive. Okay? This is not the Four Seasons Hotel. All right? Their only goal is keep them alive. Because as long as they stay alive and as long as they make it to their immigration hearing, that is all that we are required to do as a public jail. I mean, as a publicly held corporation jailing somebody being paid by the United States government. Now, the flip side, because there's people out there who are saying, well, Brad, you can't let everybody into the country, then there's going to be a mass exodus into the country. But I'm not a budget expert, but I can probably tell you that it is a lot cheaper to put an ankle bracelet on somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? It's not comfortable. I'm not telling you wearing an ankle bracelet for somebody is a comfortable thing, because it is not. It is not comfortable at all. But given the choice of being in a subpar jail and wearing an ankle bracelet, people would vote ankle bracelet all day long.
Absolutely.
Ankle bracelet is less than $1 a day to monitor somebody.
Wow.
It's got to be more than $1 a day to house all these people in a jail, that's for sure.
Yep.
Right? I don't know what the costs are. You can take the difference in the costs, hire more judges, build more courts, get public lawyers, to represent immigrants, and do fast hearings.
Right.
The reason why the asylum system is broken is because from the time that somebody applies for asylum to the time that they have a hearing, they are seen in court, it's years and years and years. And that is when people start taking advantage of the system because they are here for years, renewing their work permit, building their life here in America, and then eventually the U.S. government says years later, oh, you don't have an asylum claim, but I've been here for 10 years, you allowed me to live here. You allowed me to live here for 7 years. So if you want to stop, my opinion, the constant surge at the border, people trying to come in, you have to be able to process people extraordinarily quickly, put an ankle bracelet on them so we could be humane, and then if they don't show up to their hearing, you know where they are. And if they do show up to their hearing, it is a fast hearing. It happens in a week. It happens in 10 days. It happens in 14 days. And you either win or lose. Put the money into judges, jails, public advocates on behalf of immigrants coming in. Take the money out of public jails. They're making a fortune on putting people in jail. Can you imagine that?
Right.
Somebody makes money by putting somebody in jail? So there's an incentive to jail everybody.
Suggestion, Brad.
Because if you don't put somebody in jail, company ain't making money.
That part.
So you can rearrange this entire thing. You can. It's just they're not going to because people want to make money. It's what it is.
Exactly.
So it's a terrible thing. That's my 2 cents on it.
Right.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of people.
I don't hear
very
you,
upset
Vanessa,
about
but I know you have
the
something good to
plan.
say.
I hear her.
I don't.
I could hear you. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying that there would be a lot of people. What you just broke down makes a lot of sense, but there would be a lot of people very upset about that plan.
Yes. Right. It would be very difficult to pass because there's money makes the world go round.
That part.
Okay, and people with money take advantage of people without money, and that is the history of the world, by the way. Not just this decade, not this century, since the beginning of time. Sadly. All right, last Thursday, this condo collapse in Florida is awful. Awful, 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 awful. I can't even begin to tell you how upsetting it is. But I think everybody believes that because you know you're in your home and then it just collapses.
That's so scary.
Scary. So far, 37 people have been rescued. There's still 150 people unaccounted for. I hope somebody's alive under that rubble, but I would say, sadly, I doubt it. I mean, even if you survived the fall of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stories, and you survived for a day or two, luckily, to then live under rubble for over a week now.
Right.
I don't think anybody's...
There's no food, no water, no nothing.
Yeah. Now, some people believe that a column or a concrete slab gave way below a pool deck, taking the rest of the building down with it. In 2018, an engineering report by consultants paid for by the building found major structural damage to the building and urged the building managers to fix the cracking found in the columns, beams, walls of the parking garage. But nobody said in this report, your building's coming down in the next 2 years if you don't do something. That wasn't in the report.
I mean, do you think that they actually, they wouldn't have, if they had known that, then they would have said it.
Of course, but I don't know what happened. It's still perplexing to me. You have engineers come in, they say, yeah, you need some things fixed. Things are starting to crumble. But nobody says your building is in imminent danger of collapsing. Because I mean, if an engineer actually saw stuff like, hey, like, whoa, this thing's going to come down in, any time.
Right.
Get people out of this building. Nobody said that.
I hope that this whole situation, of course, it's so unfortunate, but I hope that it teaches the people who would be in charge of these, buildings to actually start to listen and take these reports very serious. Like, I have a friend who literally, it's so minute compared to this, but like had stuff that was blowing up in his apartment because they hadn't changed the heater and the AC since the 1980s. Right. And like kept on telling them, like, you guys need to do something, you guys need to do something. And they waited until it was flooding and, like, that's so small. But I just hope that these people will actually start taking this serious because it can happen anywhere.
I want to be clear about the engineers because I don't want to say something that was incorrect. The engineers who did the report in 2018 did say that there was structural work that needed to be done, several major repairs that needed to be done, quote, as soon as possible.
Oh.
But as soon as possible doesn't mean, is different than evacuate the building, this thing's coming down. Because that's what happened.
Right. But when you
within,
say
within 3 years.
you say as soon as possible, it should be as soon as possible.
I understand that, but 3 years later, I mean, they should say, listen, if you don't do something in the next 3 years, this building's coming down. That wasn't in the report. As soon as possible means, yeah, let's fix the stuff. Meanwhile, you know, the condo, those buildings, the condos were going for between $900,000 and $4 million.
Oh my gosh, it was that.
Those were very expensive condominiums. Right on the water.
What?
Yeah, right on the ocean.
Oh my gosh.
Those are expensive multi-million-dollar condominiums. The whole thing just collapsed. And there's a north tower and a south tower to this building complex.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what's perplexing me. It was built by the same people, built on the same grounds, basically. They're right next to each other.
Right.
Nobody's moving out of the other tower. How are you possibly living there? Get out, people, until they figure out what's going on.
Listen, with these I just don't get it.
I don't get
let me
it.
tell you, I would have been out, like, out of there.
You know, I mean, it's like, you know, I don't want to bring up 9/11, but, you know, when the first tower got hit, the other people in the second tower needed to get the hell out.
They were just watching.
And they were just watching.
Yeah. I would have been out.
I don't get it.
I would have been out.
Where are the adults in Miami, Vanessa, your new town? Where are these adults telling people to get out of the building till we know why it fell? It's my opinion.
They shouldn't even be
There's
allowed.
a lot of people from the north. There's a lot of people from the north moving south, so we're on our way. We're on our way.
Please.
Teach them.
Yeah, all right. Meanwhile, we haven't been on the air since Derek Chauvin has been sentenced. I was talking about this with Yonathan right before we got on the air. Former police officer who killed George Floyd on videotape by putting his knee on his neck for over 9 minutes. 22 and a half years in jail. He'll probably do 15 based on this sentence. He's 45 years old, so he'll be, based on this sentence, if he is not convicted of any future crimes, and we'll talk about that in a second, he'll be out of jail when he's 60.
That's still too much life that he can live.
Yeah.
For
Floyd,
me.
yeah, Floyd didn't get that life.
Right.
Right? Now, Floyd's final moments, as I said, they were captured on his cell phone by a 17-year-old and clearly illustrate how the criminal justice system treats black people. Now, Floyd's sister Bridget, who founded the George Floyd Memorial Foundation, said in a statement that the sentence shows that matters of police brutality are finally being taken seriously. However, we have a long way to go and many changes to make before black and brown people finally feel like they're being treated fairly and humanely by law enforcement in this country. I agree. And what I said is, you know, I'm glad that a police officer at least is doing real jail time for something that should not have happened. He killed somebody. What I'm upset about or sad about or angry about, or probably some kind of combination of the three, is that there are lots of people who are sentenced to life sentences for drug crimes and other crimes where they didn't kill anybody. They didn't kill anybody. Life in jail, didn't kill anybody. And this cop, who Yonathan said to me off air, has a higher duty.
Right.
He has a higher duty to protect us than the average person on the street. Only 15 years. Seems unfair still.
Harry.
Although I'm happy at least there was at least some form of justice. But seems to me that the justice was not completely fair.
At all.
What do you think, Vanessa?
I'm with you guys on this. Like Yo-Yo said, even out at 60, it's like, that is still too much time to live. And I mean, did we cut time down because he's an officer? Like, what is, it's just, at least he's there's some form of justice, but.
I just hope that they don't let it, like, comfort his stay there.
Now, a federal grand jury is set to indict all 4 of these officers, and Chauvin and the other 3 guys, alleging that they violated Floyd's constitutional rights. They are due to be arraigned on the charges in September, according to the court filings. We'll see what happens there. So there's other things that may happen that may put Chauvin in jail for a much longer period of time.
Oh, really?
From
the
federal charges.
Oh, from the federal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we'll see what happens there. But at least there was justice, although I believe the sentence should have, not because the judge wasn't following the Minnesota law, because they had to prove 5 factors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Chauvin abused a position of trust. He treated Floyd with particular cruelty. Yes. Children were present during the offense. Yes. Chauvin committed a crime as a group with the active participation of at least 3 other people. Yes. Okay. So, you know, he could have done up to 40 years, but the judge gave him 22 and a half, citing that he was never convicted of a crime previously or arrested previously. But, you know,
like I said, that all that to me should go, like, be thrown out the window when you have been sworn in, you have taken the duty to protect the people, and, you know, you have this authority. Like, Floyd could not have done anything. He couldn't have said no. He couldn't have said, no, don't do this to me. He was saying that, and they still abused their authority. So
well, I just say, you know, line up all the people who have life sentences and compare what compare what they did to compare what Derek Chauvin did. Still seems very unfair.
Right.
Many teachers and students have struggled with ongoing power outages, non-existent internet connections in Puerto Rico amid virtual learning. In last year, in 2020, 24,000 students in Puerto Rico public schools failed out of school. Now, the island only has 3.3 million people, 600,000 students in K through 12, so that's almost a little less than 10% failure.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Wow.
Meanwhile, the Delta variant, not to be in the future there may be an Echo or Foxtrot variant. We have no idea. I'm making a joke. There is no Echo or Foxtrot.
Okay.
I just think it's so funny they call it the Delta variant. On Friday, Israel, which was totally inoculated with the Pfizer vaccine, has said there's been a lot of breakthroughs through the Pfizer vaccine of the Delta variant, and are now saying to people that they should be wearing masks indoors. Now, Moderna came out today and said Israel is completely vaccinated with Pfizer. Moderna came out and said today their studies show they completely protect against the Delta variant. Now, assuming you are vaccinated, let's not freak out about all of this. Assuming you are vaccinated, you still may be exposed and may get this Delta variant, but still the vaccination, under every scenario scientifically proven to date, it's going to prevent you from dying. So even if you get it, you're not going to die if you're vaccinated. So, you know, I think people are freaking out over this Delta thing. I mean, yes, we want to be concerned, but let's not completely freak out yet. Meanwhile, New York Times said yesterday, Jonathan, you'll be happy to hear this.
What?
I hope it's true. We don't know yet. But they believe right now, New York Times is reporting that both the Moderna and the Pfizer vaccines will provide appropriate vaccination levels and antibodies for years and years and years.
Good.
So we don't have to go back and have booster shots every year. Now, what is that 5 years? Is that 10 years? Is that 15 years? We don't know yet, but the preliminary data is we will not go, according to the New York Times, we're not going to have to go back year after year.
Good.
You ready for some tea?
Let's do it.
Where's the butler? Here he is.
Nesquik,
Here
you
he
are
is.
missing out.
Here he is, the butler. Nesquik gets no tea. Here's Jay Rhymes.
Oil service.
Yes, we have a lot of service. We told him to make sure he dresses in his best butler uniform, which of course is a black t-shirt and jeans. Right? That's
I forgot the bow tie.
right. Next time he needs a bow tie. Jay Rhymes did not get the memo. I sent him a memo. Please wear your best. And he comes with jeans and a black t-shirt.
My apologies.
We're still fancy here,
All
though.
right, we're very fancy here.
Hey,
Here we go.
hey.
Let's see a spot of tea.
A modern day butler.
A modern day butler.
Very good. This is what I've been missing out
I
on.
want you to know something. I'm making fun of Jay Rhymes, but I'm going to tell you, the man knows how to make tea.
He knows how to make some good tea.
He can make tea, and he can make rhymes. That's why we keep him around.
That's a talented young man right there.
That's why we keep this guy around, rhyming and tea.
He should be like the rapping butler.
The rapping, you know, it could be an act.
It could be an act.
Jay
Jay Rhymes.
Butler, Jay Rhymes. We're coming up with something for you, Jay Rhymes. Meanwhile, Britney Spears. I just feel bad for this woman at this point. You know, she has this.
Listen to the whole audio.
Did you see the by the way, it was on Netflix.
Yeah. Was it on Netflix?
It was on one of the.
I think Hulu.
Hulu maybe.
Yeah, I saw
documentary.
it on Hulu.
I watched it.
So sad.
Yeah, it was very sad.
Watched it too.
Because I mean, yeah, obviously she had some psychological problems. Nobody says that she's completely sane. Okay, but at the same time, based on everything I've read, based on everything I've seen in this documentary, she's certainly sane enough, and probably saner than a lot of people who don't have conservatorships, to manage her money and manage her life.
Yeah.
And to me, this is a situation where people are taking advantage, and the law, nobody wants to give up this conservatorship. Which
is weird.
Okay, let me explain why. Okay, because it's involuntary. And once a judge rules that you cannot manage your own affairs, they get a court-appointed lawyer to represent you. That court-appointed lawyer never wants to end the conservatorship because that court-appointed lawyer's got a good gig, getting paid every year. The father doesn't want to end the conservatorship. He's got a good gig.
Right.
He's making buck. And all the investment managers and the agents hired by the conservatorship don't want to end it because they're making buck too. And Britney Spears, because it was involuntary, can't go and hire her own lawyers to go represent her and break it.
That is crazy.
So only because of all of this publicity, that now perhaps it will be broken. But what about all the poor people who don't have it? But even Britney Spears, I mean, I'll tell you what she says. She says, the conservatorship is doing me way more harm than good. I deserve to have a life. I'm great at what I do. All I want to do is own my own money and share my story to the world. I want to be heard. She said, I've lied and told the whole world I'm okay and I'm happy. She compared her situation to sex trafficking, noting that she was forced to work while having no control over her finances and no independence, saying the people who did that to me should not be able to walk away so easily. Spears says her management had threatened to sue her if she didn't perform in 2018 and falsely accused her of not taking her medication. She said it was very threatening and scary. I'm not here to be anybody's slave.
That's so sad.
It's sad. And listen,
so
listen. I'm not saying I follow her on Instagram. I'm not saying she's the most sane, rational human being in the world. Okay, but she's certainly not insane that she can't control her own money.
There are a lot of millionaires out there that are bipolar, that have mental illnesses.
Of course.
Like, she worked hard for that money since she was young. Huh?
Did you guys listen into the court interview? Did you listen into
No, I didn't.
what she had to say to the judge in court?
No.
She sounded pretty put together in there too.
See.
And then you know what? Everybody takes it. Even Jamie Lynn Spears. What the heck's wrong with the sister? She says after the fact, she finally puts out a video on Instagram. Okay. Wow. We have the video of Jamie Lynn. Let's see.
I can assure you that I've supported my sister long before there was a hashtag, and I'll support her long after. I paid my own freaking bills since I was 10 years old. Not that I owe the public anything, because my sister knows I love and support her.
You know what you owe? You owe your sister everything. All right, so what kind of BS is that?
Right.
Because she's a public figure, okay? And if she's a public figure, she should have been speaking out for years and years and years and years.
So
and
here-
now, all of a sudden now, she joins the free Britney bandwagon after the fact.
Playing devil's advocate. Because I did hear the video of Jamie Lynn saying that her reasoning behind not coming out and saying it right away was because Britney didn't do that herself. So she was trying to respect her situation and wait till she did. And now that she did, now she can speak on it. What do you feel about that?
What do I think of that?
You still would say something?
I would say, listen, this is your family, this is your sister, you love her. And if you see something going on with your sister, for you to say, I'm working behind the scenes when you have a public platform to do the right thing, and now you come out after the fact, there's a documentary and people are protesting in front of the court, free Britney, and now all of a sudden you join the bandwagon? And now you claim, by the way, you were doing everything behind the scenes? You know what I have to say?
Yeah, and then like you said, and then the fact that the documentary actually came out, we didn't hear anything from her until now. So,
no. Yeah, I think it's just, you know what, all I got to do is thumbs down on that.
But you also know, you already know who I got a thumbs down for as well. That's trying to ride that bandwagon.
Who?
Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
You do not like Justin
No,
Timberlake.
I don't.
Yeah.
And he had the nerve to try and say, look what he said. After what we saw today, we should all be supporting Britney at this time, regardless of our past, good and bad, and no matter how long it was, what's happening to her is just not right. No woman should ever be restricted from making decisions about her own body. That is, boy, let me not get fired today and say some stuff. Y'all know I just do not deal with Justin Timberlake. He was a big part of what happened to her when she was younger.
That's right.
You know, came out with all the music, and I think he used his male privilege, all of that. And now you want to come out? I'd rather not even hear your apology, sir.
Jonathan, not a big fan of Justin Timberlake. I have a funny Justin Timberlake story, but we're running late, so I'll have to. Next time Justin Timberlake comes up in tea, I'll remind him to tell you the story. Because it's a long story, we're running late, but it's a funny one. Okay, you'll like it, you'll enjoy it.
All right.
All right. So meanwhile, the Black Entertainment Awards were Sunday, the BET Awards.
Yes, I had a BET Award watch party.
You did. How many people you have over?
It was at my friend's place in Maryland. Yes, because I had some friends that were presenting off of Sisters, Tyler Perry's show. So it was just a lot of black excellence.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Little Nas X, he did a floral print suit, turned it into a ball gown, included a bolero jacket, suspenders, and a full skirt. He went all out.
Yeah, he's out there.
He always does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And meanwhile, during a performance alongside her husband Offset, Migos Cardi B walked onto the stage in a bedazzled black Dolce & Gabbana jumpsuit that revealed her belly and announced visually that she's pregnant.
There she did that, and she literally.
And I guess they're back. After breaking up 25 million times.
She said that God came into their family, so they good now, I guess. My opinion, I feel like it's just like this was just like last year when they said that they were going to get a divorce, and now they're bringing in a second child. I really don't understand stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, because unless they really got their act together, you know, I would say they're heading for a divorce at some point in the future.
That's what I'm saying, and it's not fair to the kids. Like Nesquik, I'm sure you know Erica Mena and Safari. So like they're reality stars, and they literally diss each other online, and it's crazy. And they were saying we're filing for divorce and all that, and all of a sudden she's pregnant with her second child.
But she's pregnant again.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, what? Why are y'all doing that to these kids? Like, at least fix your relationship and then come back. Like, I'm all for, like you always say, people break up and come back together. That's fine. You say that all the time.
That's right.
But fix your relationship first before, because the kids don't deserve that. It's toxic. But congratulations, girl.
And by the way, Megan Thee Stallion took home 4 trophies.
Yeah.
Yeah, the most of any artist.
Doing it. She's doing it.
Yeah, she and Cardi B split Video of the Year and Best Collaboration for WAP.
WAP.
WAP. WAP.
Well,
WAP.
Yes.
WAP.
Yes, Brad.
we won't disclose what that announcement.
I know what it is.
That's why I'm laughing.
I know what it is.
We'll save that for home.
Yeah,
Right.
Exactly. Something, was there a cat?
That's what it is.
Meanwhile, lastly, 15,000 people. I don't know, Vanessa or Yo-Yo, if you signed on to this petition, but you, remember we talked about Jeff Bezos is blasting into outer space. He's going to be the first billionaire in outer space. He's going to beat the guy from Virgin Atlantic, I forgot his name, Richard Branson, into space by about a month. He will be the first billionaire. He and his brother, and he auctioned off the 3rd seat for millions of dollars. And there is now a petition circulating around the internet, signed by at least 15,000 people, calling on Earth to deny Jeff Bezos re-entry. They want to keep him in space forever.
Let me go on change.org real quick and sign this.
Vanessa, are you in favor of keeping Jeff Bezos in space permanently, denying him re-entry? Change.org. Change.org is requesting the people of Earth to band together and prevent him from coming back.
Why? 'Cause he's making too much money?
Yes, he's making too much money on everybody.
On us.
On everybody.
On us poor people.
Yes. Well, according to Jose Ortiz, who was one of the people who signed the petition, he says Jeff Bezos is actually Lex Luthor disguised as a supposed owner of a super successful online retail store.
That is hilarious.
However, he's actually an evil overlord hell-bent on global domination. We've known this for years. Jeff has worked with the Epsteins and the Knights Templar, as well as the Freemasons, to gain control over the entire world.
There you go.
He's in bed with the flat earth deniers. It's the only way they'll allow him to leave the atmosphere. Meanwhile, our government stands by and lets it happen. This is going to be our last chance before they enable the 5G microchips and perform a total takeover of the world.
Okay.
That is what the change.org, they want him in space forever.
Yes.
It's a joke, obviously. I don't think we can prevent him from coming back, and I don't think this
Not
guy
with 15,
actually...
Not with
15,000 people. Okay, and I don't think they actually mean it. They're actually annoyed more that he's taking advantage of every person on this earth and charging them lots of bucks.
Even though they can't actually keep him out of space, just the thought of my world doesn't want me here, I guess that kind of messes with your mind.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think of Jeff Bezos as he blasts off? He goes, 15,000 people don't want me to return.
Right.
I would feel bad for myself.
I would feel bad too.
Whoa! We like that.
I'm into this view.
Julian!
She said, I'm into this.
Where did this come from? The entire show and then boom?
She said, I'm into this view. I can't. It's like
Vanessa has taken over the show.
I feel like it's Zordon, like from Power Rangers.
All right, Vanessa, that's the end of our tea. We got to get into our Braducation. In today's Braducation, I explain why you should never give the police permission to search your car. You know that, Jonathan?
No.
And Vanessa. Do you know never give the police permission to search your car?
Well, I do know that, but then it's just so hard for me.
You say no.
Like, yeah, it's.
You say no.
The crazy thing is, I know that, but like, I feel like they would say something to like really scare us and be like, all right, you're gonna go into jail.
Let me tell you something. If they're going to take you to jail, no matter whether you say yes or no. If they want to take you to jail, they're taking you to jail. There's nothing you can do about it because you have absolutely no say in the matter on the street. You have say in a courtroom, and if you say no in a courtroom, unless they had probable cause, whatever they find gets thrown out, and you walk out free man. Let's watch.
I'm gonna be like this.
My goal is straightforward, to make the law usable and easy to understand for everyone. All of us in the United States have equal rights and should have an equal opportunity and a right to justice. I'm here to help because I want everybody to achieve their American dream. I'm Brad Bernstein, and this is your decriminalization Braducation. I'm not here to tell you what you want to know. I'm here to tell you what you need to know. My objective is to make the law easy for you to understand so that you can use the justice system, know your rights, take advantage of the law, and achieve your American dream. When a police officer has probable cause that a crime is being committed by you, the officer has a right to arrest you. This notion of probable cause comes from the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution. It protects people from unreasonable search and seizures. It is not a guarantee against all searches, but just those that are unreasonable. Do the cops have a right to search your car or truck if you get pulled over? If a police officer pulls you over or approaches your vehicle, provide the paperwork they ask for. But if they ask to search your vehicle, whether you have something to hide or not, your answer should always be no. No, you cannot search my vehicle. Your right is that the police cannot search your vehicle. You may notice that the police sometimes, when they stop your vehicle, look through the windows. It's because they're only allowed to search your car if they have reasonable suspicion that a crime is being committed based on what they see in plain sight. So if you have nothing in plain sight in your car, whatever they find would not be admissible in court because it was an illegal search, and the case against you would be thrown out of court. That is why the police always ask for permission to search your car. If you give them permission, it's no longer an illegal search. You invited the police to search your car. And if you are inside the vehicle and they find something incriminating, and maybe you're just the passenger in the car, whatever they find, even if it has nothing to do with you, you are still criminally liable for what is discovered. So for example, if the cops find an illegal gun under the seat of a car that you're a passenger in, and you know nothing about this gun, even though you know nothing about this gun, the police will still charge you with illegal gun possession. So that illegal gun will belong to the driver and everyone in the car. It will be one gun belonging to multiple people. So that is why everyone in the car should say no to a police search. If one of 4 people in a car says yes, then the police are invited to search, and you never know what the police may find. If the police tell you it will make your arrest more difficult for you, if they have to get a warrant, well then they're usually bluffing. It means they most likely do not have probable cause to search your vehicle in the first place. All right, you got some immigration questions. We got full lines locked and loaded. Let's go to Mohammed.
Hello, hi Brad.
How you doing, Mohammed?
Good.
What's going on?
I have 2 questions.
Sure.
I'm a green card holder. I'll be filing for my citizenship in January 2022. What if between this period, I go to my home country, India, and get married to a girl? So what happens then?
You come back as a green card holder, you file for your wife, and when you become a citizen, you upgrade it, and she comes here faster.
Okay.
So you getting married, unless you got your green card through marriage, there shouldn't be any issue with you getting married at all.
I got my green card through my parents.
Okay, then there's no issue whatsoever. You're entitled to fall in love. You're entitled to go to India. You're entitled to get married. And you should file for her while you're on your honeymoon. You don't even have to wait to come back to the U.S. Put in the papers. File it.
Okay. And my second question is, I heard that if you're a green card holder, if you're traveling abroad, you can stay for 11 months, 364 days abroad?
Not if you want to become a citizen, and not if you want to come back to the United States without a problem. You are allowed. You are allowed to stay out of the United States for up to 180 days, and still be allowed re-entry into the U.S. After 180 days, the U.S. government, the officers at the airport, have a right to question whether or not you've abandoned your permanent residence or not. So
If I stay more than 6 months.
If you stay more than 6 months, but I put it at 180 days. I wouldn't even go up to the 6-month mark. Now, filing for your citizenship. You want to become a citizen. You have to prove you've been in the United States for 30 out of the last 60 months, and no trip more than 6 months. So if you plan on staying out for more than 6 months, you've just ruined your chances at citizenship.
Okay. No, I won't stay that long.
No.
Even if I go, I will go for only 30 days.
That's a smart move, okay? You're better off go for 30 days, come back for a few months, go visit your wife again for 30 days, come back for a few months, and file for her, and then when you're a citizen, you'll get her here quicker.
Hello? Yes. Hello?
I hear you.
Your voice is very slow.
My voice is slow. You know, they say I'm a fast talker, but I guess it's slow today. How about now?
It's very difficult for me to hear you.
All right, so I believe I'm okay. I'm talking okay. I believe it's on your end. So just rewind what I said. You can rewind on Facebook and YouTube. Hold on. Let's go to AJ in Atlanta. AJ.
Yes.
Hi,
I have
AJ.
a question.
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Fine. I'm married to an immigrant. He's here in this country by way of us being married. The marriage, of course, as I know now, was just for him to get into this country. We're in the process of getting a divorce. I want to know legally if it's anything I can do. He's waiting to have the conditions removed. I know now that we're waiting for to have a scheduled interview. We have not had it yet. So being that we're in the process of getting a divorce, what would happen now if he goes to the interview, of course, and we're in the process of getting a divorce and I won't be with him? It's like a 2-point question. What can I do, if anything, to stop the process, being that he's here, virtually being married to me? Is there anything that I can do?
All right, I got it. Okay. You married somebody, and it turns out after that, in your belief, you don't believe that he married you in good faith. Actually, I'm an equal opportunist. Okay, so you call, I give you the best advice I can give you. If your husband called, I would give him completely different advice than I'm going to give you. Okay, because I'm now giving you advice as an American citizen who says, this man came to the United States, married me just to get a green card, and I am now, I'm angry, I'm hurt, I'm disappointed, I have all sorts of emotions, and I don't think it's fair that he should get his permanent green card. That's what you're saying to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think,
So if your husband called, I would be giving some different advice. I would be, but if you're saying to me, you don't want this man to get his permanent green card, I'm going to give you advice that you're not even thinking about right now. And you want to know what that advice is? Don't get divorced. Don't get divorced. You want to know why? Because if you get divorced, he can convert the case. I would fight the divorce till the cows come home. I would never get divorced, because if you never get divorced, then and you don't show up to an interview, his I-751 is denied unless he can prove physical abuse. And assume you don't physically abuse him, then he's in deportation. And unless he can prove physical abuse and deportation, he's getting deported, because the only way he gets to keep his green card is by terminating your marriage. So stay married to him. It's the actual opposite of what you would think. Because if you get divorced from him, he can convert the case to a divorce, a waiver. You get a waiver of the joint requirement to file an application. So now you get taken off the case. He goes to the interview alone with a divorce decree and says, hey, it was a real marriage. Things didn't work out.
Okay, so you're saying that.
You say, if you're saying to me, I don't want this man to be in America. I want him deported. I believe he was a dirty dog. And what's the best way? You stay married to him, actually, because then he can't complete. It makes it much more difficult for him to complete his case. But if you want a consultation, you can. Now, if your husband's on the next call, I'm going to say you get divorced as quickly as possible. I just give advice as it comes along. All right, hold on. Marcy in Philadelphia.
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
You do have a question? Marcy?
Hello, can you hear me?
I do. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question. I've been on student visa for like 7 years now, and I got a 2-year visa that expired. So I'm in the process of filing my VAWA case right now, and I filed for advanced parole. I'd like to go back to my country to visit, but I'm kind of skeptical because I know like there's so many reasons they can bar you from reentry. Like, is it a big risk?
What reason? Where are you from? Marcy. People are not hearing me today? Marcy.
Hello?
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
My question is, where are you from?
Oh, sorry. I thought, okay, originally. Okay, sorry. I'm from Philadelphia.
No. Originally. Where were you originally born? What country?
Kenya.
Kenya. Okay. So why do you think, what in your background do you think would be the reason why they would not allow you back in America? Tell me why. Tell me what you think.
Sorry. I think I have an expired visa.
So what?
I was in student visa for 4 years when I came for my bachelor's.
So what? You have
an expired.
So what? There's nothing so far. There's nothing you told me that would prevent you from returning on advance parole. You need an advance parole document to leave. The U.S. government gives you permission to leave the United States. When you file a VAWA adjustment, they give you an advance parole document. So there are reasons to deny people re-entry to the U.S. with advance parole. You have a criminal record. You're a terrorist. You've lied to the government, and they have proof at the airport of it. But assuming you just overstayed on your visa and you go for short trips, you're allowed back. That's what the law says. As a matter of fact, probably in my career, I probably got over 10,000 advance parole documents, maybe 20, 30,000, 50,000. Who knows? I lost track already. Tens and tens of thousands of these. Nobody has ever gotten stuck unless they had a criminal record. They're a terrorist. Not that I ever represented a terrorist, but I assume you're a terrorist, you'd be stopped too. Or you have some sort of misrepresentation or lie or prior order of deportation that you were hiding. But short of that, you're coming back. Just don't go out for more than a month at a time. Enjoy your trip. Don't be scared.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Izzy in Scottsdale.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Doing good. How you doing?
Good.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, so it's just kind of a long story, so I'm going to try to compress the question so it sounds concise. So I was married to a U.S. citizen. We moved together to Florida in 2015. Our interview was a couple months later after that. I mean, everything went well. I-30 got approved, but I-45 never got approved because the USCIS never managed to complete the background check. And unfortunately, after about maybe a year and a half or so after that, things kind of started being on a shaky ground, and we decided to split up. So she went back to California, and I came to Arizona, and case has just been pending since.
You're not together with your wife anymore.
No, we decided to split up probably about 2 years after that, I would say.
Okay.
And but in those 2 years, I would say there's been just a lot of intrusion. I would say inconspicuous racism and fascism from their side, to be honest with you. And they never completed that background check. I had that second interview. I mean, if I can call that an interview, which I went to solo. I wasn't asked any questions that were relevant to the case whatsoever. And they said, okay, we'll be in touch.
Are you filing an abuse case?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean there wasn't anything like that involved.
So let me tell you and this is to get your initial green card, right? You're talking about your adjustment of status.
Yes.
All right. So let me explain the law. Okay. When you go on an interview for your green card, you need to prove at the time of your interview that you and your spouse are in a bona fide loving marriage. You show up without a spouse, you can't prove that you live together, you're going to get denied. You're not going to get your green card. Whether you're black, yellow, you're black, yellow, green, orange, blue, it doesn't matter what color you are. I'm being frank.
Oh, no, everything was there. I mean, every single one of those things that you mentioned was there the first time we went there. I mean, the interview was very short itself.
But they obviously didn't believe it was a real marriage for whatever reason. Now, maybe
well,
when you went,
you got approved.
Okay, but still, you have to remain married through the adjustment. Just the I-130 gets approved, and you haven't remained married through the full adjustment in a bona fide marriage.
Oh, we did remain married. We just separated after 2 years.
You're not together anymore. That's not a bona fide marriage anymore.
I mean, it was probably for like a year and a half after that when we got separated.
I'm being realistic with you. Okay? Reality hurts sometimes. And the reality is, if you don't stay with your spouse through the end of your adjustment, whether you had one part of an application approved and the other part not, you're not getting through. Now, I can't talk about what happened at the first interview, why they didn't approve your adjustment. That I don't know. Okay?
No, I mean,
but you're asking me, you know, I went back a second time and a third time and they're not approving me, and the answer is because you're not together with your wife anymore.
So, but I was very honest about that, and I mean, obviously, when I show up, they're alone. So.
All right, but you probably need a consultation at this point, so we can review and see what happens. So hold on one second.
Oh.
All right, let's go to Angela in Surprise, Arizona. Angela.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I want to ask a question.
Yes.
I am. Is it possible to get a work-related green card? Because I'm here on a B1, B2 visa. I have 4 days before it expires. My employer wants to put a petition for me. Is it possible?
Petition what, for a green card?
A work-related green card.
Yeah, but you're going to fall out of status in 4 days. You got to get it approved in the next 4 days. How are you going to do that?
I don't know.
You have to do a job sponsorship for a perm and an I-140, and you need at least to stay in legal status for at least a year and a half, 2 years, something like that.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I don't know why people can't hear me.
I can hear you.
I said to do a labor certification and an I-140 visa petition, you have to stay in legal status. You're going to fall out of status. And you already said your employer, so it sounds like you already violated your status, perhaps by working on a visa you shouldn't be. So I don't see how job sponsorship is going to work for you. What I would suggest is have a consultation before you actually become undocumented. Hold on one second. Let's go to Carlene in Brooklyn. Carlene.
Hi, I'm currently a green card holder, and I put my citizenship. I applied for my citizenship, and I'm currently pending my appointment.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to know if I can file for a residency for my mom that's living in Jamaica. If I can put the paperwork in the meantime.
No, you have to be a citizen. The day you become
a citizen.
Yeah, the day you become a citizen, that's the day you literally get your naturalization certificate in your hand at 11 a.m. You can file the I-130 for your mom at 11:01 a.m. You don't even have to wait a day.
Okay.
That moment.
Thank you. And I have another question.
Yes.
Am I allowed to travel while I'm waiting for the appointment?
Which appointment are you waiting for?
The citizenship appointment.
Yes, you can travel. Just don't remember the rules for citizenship. And the rules continue all the way until you swear in. No trip more than 6 months out of the country at any one time. And going back 5 years at any given time, they can count that you were physically in the country for 30 out of 60 months.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Have a nice day.
Okay. Seema in Brunswick, Georgia. Seema.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I am good. I got my green card through EB3 unskilled visa in October 2020 and McDonald's sponsored me.
Congratulations.
So I started working with them and now I apply I-824 for my husband in January 2021 and he is not here in USA. I signed contract with the McDonald's that I will work for them for 1 year and it will end up this year in October. Because my current salary is not enough and below poverty line, so my sponsor said he will issue a job offer letter for my spouse at the time of his interview at consulate. So I am not sure, is it okay if I will leave work for McDonald's while my I-824 is pending and my husband's visa is not approved yet?
Yes.
Or do I need to wait until his visa gets approved?
No, you don't need to wait. Job sponsorship is a promise to hire on a permanent basis when you get your green card. It's also a promise for you to hire to work on a permanent basis. Now, it's a permanent, and this is the key word, indefinite basis. So there is no lawful requirement for the period of time that you have to work for your sponsor after you get your green card if they sponsored you. So if you worked, when you got your green card, it was your intention in your mind to go work there indefinitely, and it was their intention for you to go work there indefinitely, and things don't work out. This is not indentured servitude. This is not slavery. You've satisfied your requirement. They've satisfied their requirement. Job's not working out. You can find a job that pays better. Move. And it has no effect on your husband's I-824.
Okay, but I have one more question. So is it okay if I will work some other state and my husband will show offer letter for Georgia?
Yeah.
And he will show, is it okay? And one more thing, my I-824 is pending and I call
one second. Your husband should be coming to join you. So if he's coming to work in a different state, that could be a problem. So if you're moving to one state and he's going to Georgia, that's not joining you. Okay, but that's one problem. And what's your other issue?
Okay, so if I will get like a good job with enough salary and it will be above poverty line, then he don't need to be any like job offer letter with him, right?
You should not need one if you have a good job, correct?
Okay, so my I-824 is pending and I call USCIS and he told me I cannot travel until I got approved my I-824. But I have my green card
You
valid.
can travel. Don't listen to that moron. Of course you can travel. Go visit your husband.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Don't listen to that moron. Johnson in Houston, Texas.
Hey, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
Very good. How are you doing today?
Good. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm actually a permanent resident. I have my 10 years green card. I already applied for my citizenship. I'm actually awaiting an interview date. But I have my spouse. He was actually in America before I met her. I met her on my last visit to Canada last year, 2019.
Where is she now?
Oh, but she's in Canada.
Okay.
But she was actually in America before she moved to Canada.
Where's she originally from?
She's originally from Nigeria.
So what was her status in America?
She came in on a B1, B2 visa.
And just overstayed her time.
But she doesn't overstay her time before she left.
She did or did not?
She did not.
Okay, great. And then she applied for asylum in Canada?
So she applied for asylum in Canada. They give her a work permit. She's working with a work permit. She's awaiting her adjudication. So now we're trying to plan to get married. So I don't know what to do. Like, do I have to go over there?
Go to Canada. But right now you can't get into Canada. That's the problem.
Yes, we will have to after.
Yeah, after they lift restrictions, whenever that is, you'll go to Canada. You'll marry her. You'll file a visa petition for her. She'll come back. She shouldn't have a problem as long as she didn't overstay her time. If you become a citizen and Canada still hasn't lifted restrictions for you to fly there, because they're not going to allow her to come to America, maybe they will if she's a lawful landed resident already, or she's still pending asylum. in Canada.
She's still pending asylum.
Yeah,
in
they're
Canada,
not. Yeah,
but
they're
they
not
have
gonna.
to-
Yeah, they're not gonna let her come into America until she gets her lawful card in Canada. So, assuming they don't lift the COVID restrictions by the time you become a citizen, you'll file a fiancé visa for her to re-enter the United States as a fiancé, and then she would come to America. You'd marry her here. One or the other.
Okay, but what the problem is, when I went online to check her I-94, it was not there that shows that she actually exited America because she went to the land border.
Okay,
Would that
well,
be a problem?
Well, there's a record she entered Canada, so you'll have to get the records from Canada.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
Canada has records that she left, that she's there.
Yes, she has a record, asylum
yes.
case, asylum
So
record. She
show
has
the
it.
Canadian records. She can't be in America if she's
Yes.
in Canada applying for asylum.
So the best thing is for me to go over there and get married to her and come over here and file for her.
The best is go there and marry her if they allow you into Canada. File for her as a resident, upgrade the case when you become a citizen, and bring her over. The second best is you can't get to Canada. It's COVID. It's reality. Once you're a citizen, you'll file a fiancé visa for her to come to America to marry you here. One or the other. Eventually you'll get her here, one way or the other, I promise you. All right?
Okay.
Hold on.
The last question.
Yes. Quickly.
The last question is when they go to Canada, they took her passport. So how does she come over here if I want to bring her on a K-1 visa?
Get her. I don't know how to get a passport back from Canada. She would either have to get her passport back somehow. Speak to her Canadian lawyer. I don't know why they have her passport or what they do with it. I'm not a Canadian lawyer. She can try.
They do that to everybody.
She can try to get a new passport from Nigeria. She can try to get that way, but she would have to get some sort of travel document for sure. But that's something she's going to have to deal with through her Canadian immigration lawyer. I don't know how to get a passport back from the Canadian authorities. It's beyond what I know.
And how do you help in your filing if I want to?
How do I help?
Get your son?
I do the entire process that I just explained to you. Okay, I advise you on every step of the way. Hold on one second. The only thing I can't do is fly to Canada and find your passport. It's beyond what I know. Hold on. Kimberly in Silver Spring, Maryland.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I am fine, Dad. How are you?
Good.
I have a two-part question.
Yeah.
It's kind of lengthy. So my first question is, I filed my 485 in 2019. I went to the interview in 2020. Then at my interview, they didn't question me much about my marriage. They questioned me about a prior case that I had. After leaving the interview...
What was the prior case?
I worked out of status and I was held by ICE.
Where were you held by ICE?
In Florida.
And were you put in removal, obviously?
No.
You were
that's
not?
It. No,
That's
the
weird.
immigration officer keep on asking me that. So I keep on telling him no. So I tell him that based on what my lawyer
Well, let me
told
ask you a
me.
question. How do you know? ICE picks you up. You're out of
Right.
status. It doesn't seem logical to me that somehow you're released and you never put in removal. Like, oh, our mistake. You're out of status. You're working undocumented. It's all right. Go home. That doesn't make sense to me. So you were put in removal at one point in time. You may not know about it. I was going to say, well, maybe you were put in removal. You never got notice. You know, maybe your lawyer didn't do, you know, you're in removal somewhere.
that's it.
That's the
So-
problem. I already know that. So when the officer's asking, are you in removal? You're saying no. The officer knows you are. Okay?
So that's what I told him.
They're just adding stuff on for lying, misrepresentation, all sorts of other things. But you're in removal somehow. I don't know the answer what happened in that removal.
So that's it. No. So what I'm saying is when he asked me again, I said, I'm telling you based off what my lawyer tells me and based on the A number that I have on my case, when I call it, there's nothing on it. There's no deportation. There's no court. There's no nothing.
Okay, sometimes...
So that's what my lawyer is telling me.
All right.
So that's what I told him in the interview.
All right. So I'll tell you two things. Sometimes people have 2A numbers. It happens. Okay. Also, sometimes the ICE officer prepares a notice to appear, but never files it with the court. So they release you. Here's the notice to appear, but they have to actually take the file, bring it to the court to institute removal proceedings. Sometimes they're just lazy, they forget, you fall through the cracks. So the notice to appear, the charging document to put you in deportation has been prepared, so that starts the process, but the court knows nothing about it because the ICE agent never brought it over. So sometimes you're just kind of lost in bureaucratic shuffle. That's what happens sometimes too. So my guess is, if I had to take a guess, either you got 2A numbers or the ICE officer never brought your file over to the court, one or the other. But we got to work through it and figure it out, because you are absolutely, they put you in removal and deportation. I've never heard in a million years an ICE officer pick somebody up working undocumented and says, go home, have a nice day. So we got to figure, and for your lawyer to say, oh, don't worry, you're not in removal, that's illogical and not smart. So hold on one second.
So wait.
Okay, whoa. What?
So after the interview,
yeah,
they told me they're going to check my I-130 because it wasn't filed directly to UCIS, it was filed to the visa center. So after a few months from the interview, I got a notice saying my I-130, my first lawyer, because I had a first lawyer, I had to switch him up. My first lawyer filed that I couldn't adjust my status in the United States. I don't know what happened. That's what I got on the notice. So my current lawyer said he fixed it. So a few months after that, now I received another notice saying they need to see the approved I-130 and a few other things. So my question is, what can I expect after this? So now
you are so messed up that you don't even realize how messed up you are.
I don't.
I know that. I'm listening to your story. Just messed up. MESSED. Did I spell it right, Yo-Yo? MESSED. Messed up. What you should expect is nothing. Perhaps immigration coming and arresting you and deporting you, based on what you're telling me. What you need to do is figure out what happened with the removal hearing. See if you've actually been ordered removed, what's going on. Once you're in removal, USCIS has nothing to do with your case anymore other than approving an I-130. And if you already told me there's an I-130 approved, I don't know what the heck your lawyer's doing. You got to deal with the courts now. And nobody's doing it. So that's why you're messed up. So when I said to you, when I said to you 3 minutes ago, I was about to say, hold on, you need a consultation. You go, whoa. I said, okay, whoa.
So I got to give it a full story.
I still stand by what I was going to say. Hold on, you need a consultation. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
All right. Chevy in Westchester.
Hi, Brian.
Hi, how are you?
Thanks for taking my call. I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
So, I have a VAWA case from 2019, which I just received a C-31 for, and the I-485 was processing behind the actual VAWA case.
Right.
So I just wanted to know, what can I expect next? And also,
well, if you
Yeah, go ahead. I didn't do the paroles, the travel documents. So I was wondering if I still could do that now also.
Okay, so when you get a work permit based on Section C-31, that means your VAWA is approved. So congratulations. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
All right,
and
so
I already had another one also.
Yeah, from C9 from your adjustment. Your lawyer probably filed work permit applications based on two separate sections of law. Okay, and that's fine. It doesn't really matter. You have a work permit, you got a work permit, now you got two.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that means your VAWA is approved. That means you're online to be scheduled for an adjustment interview, when that could be 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, but months and months down the road, not years and years down the road. Yes, you can. Yes, you can apply for advanced parole. You can do it now. File an I-131. It'll take about 4 months, 5 months. You'll get a travel document. You can travel for short periods of time. I wouldn't stay out for more than 30 days, but everything's going well so far.
Okay, great. Because I was wondering, seeing that the I-485 was filed from 2019, if it's going to be current soon, see that it's 2021.
Yeah, but they put you as if your adjustment was filed on the day the VAWA was approved. That's how they look at it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's why it's going to be months and months.
Oh, okay, understand.
Right.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate
All right,
it.
good luck.
All right, thank you. Bye.
All right, let's see how this is going to go. Miss Bernard, how are you?
Good. How's it going?
Good. I spoke with you on a private consultation, and now you're calling on our show, right?
Yeah, I have a bit of a problem here. Okay, we'll start with this one. So for the affidavit support form, unfortunately, I did just lose my job.
Okay.
So how do I go about that for the income?
You'll need a second affidavit support from somebody else.
Like a what is it? A friend?
A friend, anybody who's an American citizen or resident who is willing to sign an affidavit support and provide 3 years tax returns, a job letter, and a bank letter.
They have to be a citizen, or they have to be a green card holder?
Correct.
Green card holder or citizen?
Correct.
Oh, both?
You can't be both an American citizen and a green card holder. You can be one or the other.
Okay, so if they're a green card,
by the way, I remember our consultation, so I'm giving you about 3 minutes. So get through all our calls. Get through all your questions.
If they're a green card,
I've answered that one already. A permanent resident or a U.S. citizen. Either one. There's 300 million people you can choose from.
Okay, now my second question is, my case did get approval for expedite. They sent me an email. Saying, thank you, but I want to know for sure. They sent me the email, and it says your documents that you sent meet the requirements.
Okay.
Is that saying it's approval? I've called several times.
That's not an approval. It just says that they're probably going to expedite it. An approval says you are approved.
They're going to get to the expedite, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's what they was telling me. I said, one lady say, yes, it's been approved. The second lady said...
No, you're not. They will get to it. They said they're going to move it up. It's going to go faster. That's what they're saying.
It's going to go faster,
Correct.
Our case?
That's what... You know what my problem is with this woman? Because I remember our consultation. She asked the same question 35 times. I give the same answer 35 times, and then she asks it a 36th time, which is why I told her, you're getting 3 minutes from me this time, lady. What's your next question?
Sorry, Brad.
What's the next question?
Just about the affidavit support.
Yeah.
So, what if I find another job? Would they still take it, or do they worry about the length of the time?
Well, the length of time is an issue, but presumably by the time, if you get another job quickly, by the time your husband gets an interview in Haiti, because I remember he's from Haiti, it'll be months and months, and you'll be able to update those documentation.
For the affidavit support form?
At the time of the interview at the embassy.
Oh, okay, when you go to the embassy.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Brad. Good night.
All right, good luck.
Okay.
All right. Whew. Well, that was faster than I thought. I thought that was going to be at least 45 minutes. Oh, no. I was starting to sweat bullets. Siva in St. Petersburg, Florida. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
I am going to file WAWA and I-45 concurrently.
Uh-huh.
And my question is, after getting the receipt notice from USCIS, can I file expedite request as soon as possible for my work permit? I have a job offer waiting.
You can't request an expedite because there's a job offer waiting. You can request an expedite for humanitarian. I mean, you could try for certain, and certainly it doesn't hurt. So my answer is yes, do it, because it doesn't hurt. Okay? Yeah. But if you are expecting it to be approved, the Biden administration came out with their policy. Their policy for expedites of work permits are you're going to lose your job. Not that you're waiting to get hired in a job. You have a job, you're going to lose it, or some other extraordinary humanitarian issue like I'm going to be evicted, I'm living on the street, I need to buy pills for my cancer treatment, God forbid. Something really drastic and humane. Other than that, it's I'm losing my job, not that I need to get a job.
Okay.
All right.
And the another question is, I was a student here and I lost my visa because I got married and shit happens.
Yeah.
And can I file for severe hardship, financial hardship, to expedite my work permit?
You can again try. Maybe severe economic hardship is humanitarian enough. I would say everybody is in the same boat as you who's looking for a job. You know, you got to set yourself apart from everybody else because they can't expedite everybody.
Okay, cool.
All right.
And one last question. How long it will take to get prima facie determination after...
I don't know the answer. Some people get it in 3 months, some people get it in 6 months, some people never get it.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much.
All right, good luck.
Bye-bye.
Samantha in Stamford, Connecticut.
Hi,
how are
good
you?
evening. Good, thanks. My question is, so I already did the petition for my husband, and I found out that he was only using me for a green card. Can I withdraw it?
Yes.
Because he has a 2-year conditional.
You can't.
that
No,
this
you
year
can't.
makes 2 years.
You can't withdraw it. He has his green card. He has his green card. So.
But he needs to remove the condition from it.
Yes. So either he's going to file a joint application with you, which you're going to refuse to sign. He's going to divorce you and do it on his own, but he's got to complete a divorce, which is why I told that lady don't complete the divorce. Or he's going to prove abuse or prove humanitarian reasons why he can't leave. Okay? The last two are very hard to prove.
But I provided them pictures of his abuse.
Then if you provide pictures of his abuse and he's abusing you, then you should call the police and have him arrested. You shouldn't be providing pictures to immigration. Go to the police. Domestic violence.
Yeah, but if I do that, then my daughter is gonna get caught up with DCF and all that, and I don't want to. Because we have a child together.
Well, you can't have it both ways. You can't say I want the father in my daughter's life and at the same time get him deported. So you can't have it both ways. So think about what you want to do. All right, hold on. Ola in East Orange, New Jersey. Ola.
Hello, Brian.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I filed for VAWA in December 2020. I got a notice for additional evidence, which I provided in March. So in May 14th, I got prima facie determination. I don't know if my case is going in a good direction. Then how many more time do I have to wait to get an approval?
It's a good direction. Prima facie means that you've proven at a bare minimum all the requirements to prove your VAWA case. That's a good direction.
So how many more time do I need to wait to get an approval?
Approval for the VAWA?
Yes.
It's at least 2 years.
Okay.
All right, hang in there, but everything's looking good so far.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. And by the way, if you were not one of the 14 people to call, because there's about 20 people on hold, but I can only take 14 calls a day, because that's our rules. You can always follow me on Instagram at @RealBradBernstein. Drop me a DM. I'll be happy to help you and answer your questions. Sometimes it takes me 2-3 days to respond because I am a busy human being, but you are speaking to me personally. I do answer all the questions. So just follow me on Instagram at @RealBradBernstein. Drop me a DM. I'll be happy to help you as best as I can. And you can also follow us on Instagram at Brad Show Live. As I always say, you can't handle 2 hours of me and Yo-Yo and Vanessa, but you can handle 30 seconds. Watch us at Brad Show Live on Instagram. Also follow us on TikTok, our fastest growing social media platform, run by none other than the most handsome man sitting next to me, Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias. He is in charge of the whole TikTok. Everybody loves the TikTok.
They love it.
All right? They didn't love it before Yo-Yo got involved, but they loved it once Yo-Yo got involved. I don't know what
fingers.
Yeah, it is your fingers. It's something. So follow us on TikTok at Brad Show Live as well. And Yo-Yo, what do you got?
Yep, you guys can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And you guys can find me at Vanessa.Contreras TV.
And later in the show, I'm going to speak with Fire Department of New York Lieutenant Sarinya Srisakul, the New York Fire Department's first Asian American female firefighter and the former president of the United Women Firefighters Association.
And now in today's Attorney Close-Up, Spar and Bernstein partner and personal injury attorney David Levy tells us why it's important to give your attorney every detail, no matter how big or small, about your case.
One way for our clients to make our job easier as attorneys is to always be forthright and honest. Being honest with your attorneys is absolutely essential. Many clients sometimes feel the need to withhold key information from their attorneys based perhaps, maybe they think that the information is damaging in some way. They think that if I hide this, this will help me. But in reality, hiding things make things much more difficult for your attorney because there's a chance that the other side has that information, whether it's from surveillance, from photographs, from witnesses, or from hiring an investigator. Revealing all information to your attorney is the most important thing you can do. Number one, anything you say to your attorney in confidence is protected by something called the attorney-client privilege. That privilege prevents anyone else from inquiring as to what that information was. If you want it to remain a secret, that information will remain a secret. It's protected by law. And by telling your attorney anything that you think may be harmful to your case, you're giving me the opportunity to get ahead of it and find a way to minimize whatever harmful impact it may have, as opposed to not telling me finding out from the other side, and then that blindsiding me, catching us by surprise, and potentially harming your case. Honesty is always key. Full disclosure is always the best route to go.
All right, let's do something we like to call social media check-in. Let's see what's going on in the world of Facebook and YouTube. Everyone's comments, questions, problems, issues, all being monitored by Yo-Yo and Nesquik.
We're watching. All right. First one comes from Sean Brooks, Brad Squad VIP member, saying, at an AOS interview, would they ask me anything about my visa application or just questions about my marriage?
Absolutely. They're going to ask about your visa application, and they're going to look to see if you lied or made a misrepresentation. It's fair game.
Ronnie Rodrigue Philstein, another Brad Squad VIP member. Is it possible to travel via airplane to other states when I have overstayed my visa?
Yes, as long as you have a valid passport, absolutely.
All right, Michael Overcome Newsom, a Brad Squad VIP member. My wife wants to get a divorce. I got my 10-year green card in January. Will it be a problem if we get divorced now?
No, you got your 10-year card.
Nadine Stewart, another Brad Squad VIP member. My siblings were DQ May of 2020, but there is still no interview date yet. Their priority date is July 7th, 2007. Do you have any idea when to expect to hear something? Do I need to file a mandamus?
You're not going to file a mandamus because everybody's having the same problems with the U.S. embassies. They're understaffed or even closed because of the COVID pandemic. Hang in there, wait a few more months. Let's see what happens. It's frustrating. It's frustrating to me too. Let's see what happens towards the end of the year. And if then we still don't see any progress, then yeah, mandamus may be required, but everyone's in the same boat. So let's see what happens.
All right, Ron Adams, a VIP Brad Squad member. I have a cousin who left the U.S. in 1999, and he's a green card holder. Is there a chance for him to get his green card back after 22 years? Also, he left the U.S. because he escaped from his court hearing at that time. Will he get arrested if he comes back?
Well, number one, let's stop right there, Yo-Yo. Okay, he abandoned his permanent residence, so he would have to start from scratch again. Number two, he's not getting a green card because if he didn't show back up to criminal court, there's a warrant out for his arrest. So, you know, why does he think he can just like avoid criminal court for 20 years and then go, oh, I'm back? Yeah.
Come on, forget about it.
Yeah. Vanessa.
Marcos Marco Sillard on Facebook. How come family visas F2B are still not being processed in consulates that are in countries with COVID numbers under control and vaccinated, like Montreal?
Can you get Joe Biden on the phone? Ask him why he's not doing his job.
I can't.
Your guess is as good as mine. They should be. We all agree. They're not. It's a problem. Hopefully it'll be fixed soon.
All right. Elaine Rosales, a Facebook member. I am a permanent resident and just recently got engaged, but I'm still technically married in the Philippines. Can I file for divorce here and have my husband back home sign it?
Yes, you can do a divorce in the United States from the Philippines as long as you have the residence requirements. And I don't mean residence meaning lawful residence, just physically present in the United States. Depends on the state. Each state's different.
Stargirl Mika on Facebook asked, can I co-sponsor affidavit of support? Who sponsored someone in Jamaica decided that they want to withdraw from sponsoring the person for malicious reasons after the case has been completed and is waiting for an interview date. The sponsor does not know that the case is already completed.
If the sponsor who did a joint affidavit of support withdraws, you could always get somebody else to do it who's a resident or a U.S. citizen.
Okay, Janet S. on YouTube. I received the receipt for VAWA I-360. Should I now add the 485 to it as I have 2 arrests pending trial, not guilty pleas? The trial might take up to a year. Do I need a waiver to add a waiver for arrest pending trial?
I would speak to me first before you start filing any papers when you have 2 pending arrests.
Shaville Johnson on YouTube. After a C-31 is given in VAWA case and the I-485 has been pending since September of 2019, what should be the next step?
Well, if the VAWA was approved, Vanessa, is that what you said?
After given the VAWA case and the I-485 has been pending.
All right, so all right. What's next is you file an adjustment, you file a VAWA. I don't know where he's at. You file an adjustment, you file a VAWA, hopefully you get a prima facie. Hopefully you've applied for your work permit, your advanced parole. You wait the 2.5 years. USCIS, unless you gave them a grand slam of evidence of VAWA, will normally send what's called an RFE, a request for more evidence, to either prove that you're in a real marriage, there was abuse, you're a person of good moral character. Those are the 3 things you got to prove. You respond to the RFE, you wait a few more months, everything goes well, fingers crossed, your I-360 is approved, that's your VAWA case, you still have a pending adjustment, then you got to wait on USCIS to schedule a local interview for your final adjustment, and then you get your green card, and then smile.
And last one for tonight, Modesta Batson on YouTube. My grandmother petitioned for my father and family in 2007. At the time, I was 16. In July 2019, the case became current. Am I eligible?
Who filed for who and when and where?
The grandmother petitioned for the father and family in 2007. And at the time, she was 16.
Well, I don't know how long it took the I-130 to get approved. So we need a lot more to determine whether you're under the Child Status Protection Act.
All right.
All right. So we need more info. What we need to figure out, just so she knows, is when was the I-130 filed? When was it approved? And we need to know your exact birthday. And then I can tell you, depending on where you are in the status of your case. So I had recently spoken with Fire Department of New York Lieutenant Sarinya Srisakul, the first Asian American woman to join the New York City Fire Department. We discussed her career, the need for diversity in the fire departments, and the fundraiser she has started to combat the uptick in Asian hate crime. Let's watch. Sarinya Srisakul was the New York City Fire Department's first Asian American female firefighter when she joined in 2005. She is now a lieutenant in the department and also served as the president of the United Women Firefighters Association for 6 years. Sarinya is born and bred New Yorker, but her parents came to the United States from Thailand. She joins me today to discuss her family's immigration story, her career in public service, the need for diversity in the fire department, and what she is doing to combat the uptick in Asian hate crimes in the United States. Thank you for joining me, Sarinya. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So, what's your family's immigration story?
My parents both immigrated here from Thailand in the late 70s. And my mom came here on a work visa because there was a nursing shortage at the time. And growing up in the Thai American community in New York, all of my Thai friends' mothers were nurses or restaurant owners. So it was just a very common theme for us. And my father came here and on a tourist visa, and he overstayed and was undocumented until he met my mother at a Thai American event, and they got married. And he became a citizen like much later on. In the first election that he voted in was 2000.
Do they still live in New York now?
Unfortunately, my mother passed away when I was in high school, but my father moved back to Thailand. Actually, once I joined the fire department, he felt like once I had my career that he didn't have to worry about me. And so he was going to live his retired life but back in Thailand. And obviously the American currency will afford him a better lifestyle there than if he stayed here.
When you joined the fire department in 2005, did you understand or realize that you were going to be the first Asian woman to be a firefighter?
Yeah, I was told that by the other women firefighters when I was training to take the firefighter test. The organization I eventually became president of, it was a training program run by women firefighters for women firefighter candidates. So the women there, some of them were there since the 80s. Some of them were one of the original women firefighters of New York City. And they had this oral history of who was a part of the department. So they told me, you pass this test, you're going to be the first one. So I was really excited for that. But I also at the same time couldn't believe in 2005 that I would have been the first one.
What was the impetus to join the fire department?
I have a, very odd story with that because I dropped out of art school and I became a community organizer. So two very different things. And when 9/11 hit, both of the industries that I was working in were funding wise were just obliterated. And 9/11 was a very significant moment in New York City. And the year after, in 2002, was when the fire department opened hiring. They only hire once every 4 years. And my friend took me to orientation. I never thought about being a firefighter. Even during 9/11, I didn't think, oh, I see me in that. And my friend took me to an orientation. That's where I met my first women firefighters. And I didn't see them as any different than me. And they were all different shapes and sizes. None of them were super bodybuilders or anything like that. They all look like regular women. And I was like, if they could do it, I could do it too. I come from a place where I want to help people. That's why I became a community organizer. I want to be out there and I want to create social change.
You've now been a firefighter now for 15 plus years. Has the significance of being the first female Asian firefighter sunk in over these 15 years?
I do think it is a huge accomplishment because even just being a woman, period, on this job, it's still 99% male. And it's still incredible to see any woman firefighter and to see an Asian woman firefighter where it's defying racial and gender stereotypes. I am proud to be that person because it is helping other young Asian girls when they see me. Not that they necessarily have to follow my path, but that they can follow in whatever path that they choose. If they march to a different beat of their drums, those of us Asians who are in the fire department now, we didn't have a lot of Asians that came on the job before us that paved the way. There were, don't get me wrong, but not in great numbers. I do attribute it to cultural stereotypes. I know in Thailand, firefighting isn't seen as this great profession. I tried to go to a firehouse in Bangkok, and I remember the taxi driver was like, why would you want to go to a firehouse? They're full of criminals. They like won't put a fire out in your neighborhood unless you pay them off. Like, they're terrible people. Like, here that doesn't happen. Here it's a, good paying job. So there is a huge like cultural difference there. And you see it too. There's like a saying, if you work in Chinatown, there's either no fires or large fires, because whenever there's a small fire, the residents try to put it out themselves because they have this like fear of calling 911, and they only call us when it gets out of hand. They have this stereotype of paying us off, or that 911 is linked to immigration somehow, that they're like calling unnecessary attention from like outsiders to their place of living.
How do you break down these stereotypes?
It's an educational campaign that needs to be done. We need more of it. I mean, they do it. It's not at the level it should be. I'll give an example. Police department and the corrections department, whenever they do recruiting, for example, their recruiting flyers are in Chinese. And it's like, why? You have to speak English for this job. Why is it Chinese? They're like, oh, it's not for the kids. It's for the parents and the grandparents to sign on. So it says on this like flyer, like, here, mom and dad, this is how much money I'm going to be making. These are my benefits. This is like my retirement age. Like, and this is actually a really good job. And so because they've done that kind of outreach, they have much greater numbers for Asians on those two professions. I think 1 in 8 police officers in NYPD are Asian. There's a lot of more Asian correctional officers, which you wouldn't think, than firefighters. But, we need Asian firefighters. You need that language component, that cultural competence to better serve New York City.
But the great majority is still white male.
Yeah, but there was a recent racial justice lawsuit that de Blasio settled, that the recent hires, it's been a big uptick in increasing racial minorities.
What have they done since that lawsuit?
There's a court order, so they have to do it. So that's one thing. And the numbers have to reflect the New York City population of people of color, which is around like 50-50. With the leadership, it has to come from us. Like, the people who started the other racial justice lawsuit were members of the fire department, and they got, the Vulcan Society started the lawsuit, the Black Firefighters Group. And so the president at the time, he got a lot of flack for it. And when other people who don't want to rock the boat see that, they're not going to challenge the authority figure, which is like our employer. I challenged them when I was president of the women's group, and I had to pay for those consequences.
How did you pay for it?
There are some people who do admire me and agree with me, but then the large group, most of the majority don't. Like, and it's like lots of rumors about me. Like, people stop talking to me after I've known them for like over 10 years, and it was just like, oh, okay, like, this is happening. I'm not talking about my firehouse that I worked in for 14 years. That was the price I had to pay for being vocal. And that's what it's like in these kinds of like work environments. When you are an activist, you go against the grain. It's a very conservative population. So I'm fine with it, because obviously, like, I like want to stand in the light of justice.
Has that changed, or is there still a problem to this day?
Oh, that's changed. Like, I haven't had like that experience since I've been promoted. I had a great experience because I'm no longer president of the organization and no longer pushing that envelope. It's like gotten better for me. When I signed up, there were 25 women on the job. And when I started, I was like the 30th, around like 30th. And this is out of like 10,500. Now we have 116, but it didn't come because the fire department did a great job doing outreach and they were so kind and this and that. It came because we pushed the envelope, we challenged them. Like, a lot of social change just doesn't come like naturally, you know what I mean? I mean, people celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. Day every year and pick and choose his quotes, but he was a pariah too during his time and was one of the most hated men in America. But people don't think of that because we enjoy the fruits of that hard labor. just look at any of the social movements now and how like difficult it is like to, you know, challenge police brutality. You know, that's been, as long as Black people have been in America, like that's been a struggle.
I agree with you. And let me just ask you this question. As a woman in the firehouse, being probably the only woman there, were you treated equally on a general day-to-day basis?
In the beginning, that was when it was like the hardest in the beginning, because they don't know what you're about. You get tested a lot. So a lot of younger guys, like that 5-year and less crew, didn't care as much that, you know, I'm a woman. It was more like some of the older guys, and not all of them. And that's changed a little bit now too, because of the lawsuit. And I do have to say it's because of the culture. When you're new, you're like it's very similar to like a pledge at a frat where you are supposed to get tortured for your first year. Like you're the bottom feeder, like your first year. You know, I talked a lot about the negative stuff, but there are a lot of positive aspects to it. Largely, I'm very happy, and I'm happy that I chose like this career.
Some people may be saying, well, men will put out a fire, women will put out a fire. What's the difference? As long as our fire is put out, do we need women in the fire department?
We don't just do fires. And I'll give you an example. Like, you know, we go to medical calls. So when I was in the East Village working, so many times there were like women naked, passed out, and they stepped me in and they waited at the door and they're like, just radio us and tell us what you have. Or I covered her up and then they came in. Calls in women's locker rooms, women's bathrooms, medical calls. So like you need that. We go to like domestic violence, child abuse cases, like the face of a mother, like with a sick baby and seeing me and being relieved, you know.
There's been an uptick in anti-Asian hate crime since COVID came out. Has it affected you personally?
It hasn't affected me. I never have been harassed on the street, but definitely heard of a lot of stories of people. For me personally, you know, it really bothered me, especially after the shooting in Atlanta. Never in my life have I seen like Asian women be targeted in a mass shooting. And so it was really just disturbing, the level of racism and misogyny and that combination. Personally, I decided to do a fundraiser to get self-defense tools in the hands of the API community. I have this, it's called a Kubaton. It's a self-defense. I have these and I have this. It's a alarm. It's like this pin and it's like really loud. So people can go to my Instagram. It's SARINYYYA on Instagram. And all the information's on there. The proceeds from these keychains are going towards anti-racism organizing in the Asian community and for providing for self-defense tools for low-income and trans API people.
And lastly, are you living your American dream? Have you reached it?
Yeah, I feel like I really have, you know. I definitely am so grateful that my parents sacrificed all that they did so I am able to do what I've been doing. It doesn't get lost on me that I have it different than them. And just like speaking English without an accent, just like not having that like navigating like to cultures and learning how to be in this world, how much easier it is for me to be in this world. And especially when I go back to Thailand and see like where they came from and see how much, like, you know, even though I've been an activist with like gender discrimination and things like that, it's a lot worse in Thailand. You know, women don't just become firefighters there. So I am extremely grateful for like being here and enjoying the privileges of having an American passport and all those things. And I totally empathize with all the people that come here to try to have a better life and to do the same for their families and for their children. It's really admirable. And this country was founded on that.
Lieutenant Sarinya Srisakul, New York City Fire Department, first Asian American female firefighter. Congratulations. Thank you for keeping us safe here in New York City. And it was wonderful speaking with you and learning a little bit about you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I had a fun time. Thank you.
All right, Yo-Yo and Vanessa, 9 questions, 50 seconds. We're going to speed through the speed round.
Yes.
It's Tuesday tea. We're going to end it with some balloons. No kabooey.
No kabooey.
No kabooey, Vanessa. We're in a non-kabooey zone now. That's what Jonathan said to me.
Hey, I'm part of that zone.
All right.
All right. Whenever you guys are ready.
Can USCIS deny an I-130 if I'm over 61?
No.
Do I need a bank account and lease to apply for a green card?
No.
Can I file for asylum myself if I'm under 18?
Yes.
Can I change my B-1-2 to a green card?
If you get sponsored and you apply for it, yeah.
If an out-of-status student wins DV lottery, can he get a green card?
Not in the United States. You'd have to go home and maybe have a 3 and 10-year bar.
How quickly can a citizen bring a child overseas to the U.S.?
Depends on how that child is. If filing an I-130, a year.
Can I apply for VAWA if I signed voluntary departure for drug felony?
No.
I have approved asylum. Can I change my name?
Yes.
What is the O1 visa?
Extraordinary ability.
Done.
So
No, because I answered the question wrong, actually.
Damn it!
Yeah, so I should blow up, yeah. Yeah, I blew up. You can file a VAWA with a drug arrest. You can absolutely file. There was a question, can you file a VAWA with a drug arrest?
Can I apply for VAWA if I sign voluntary departure for drug felony?
Yes, because you can still, if you get the VAWA approved, you still have to prove good moral character, and perhaps you're not leaving under voluntary departure with, all right, maybe I shouldn't have blown up. I mean, it's an iffy, the answer is technically yes, you can file, but you still have to prove good moral character, and you have to, and even though you have a voluntary departure, if you get the I-360 VAWA approved, they can't deport you. Mm-hmm. So you should absolutely try to do it. You'll never get your green card, but you'll be able to get a work permit under C-31 and be able to at least live here in America without avoiding deportation. Why am I bubbling? That was a tricky question.
That was.
And the other question was, which was way overarching, was how long does it take for me to file for if I'm a U.S. citizen for my child? Well, I don't know. Is the child a U.S. citizen? Because then the child can walk right into the embassy and get a U.S. passport.
Right.
Or was the child, how old is this child? Who is this child to you? Is this your stepchild? Your adopted? I mean, there was so many different things. So I'm like, I went 30. Yes.
All right.
So I don't know. All right. What do you think? Do we do the balloons?
No balloons.
I don't know if you can reverse a blow up.
You can't reverse a blow up. Damn.
Yeah. Damn. I was excited though.
Damn.
Excited.
Damn.
That's a damn.
All right. Comments of the day.
All right, everyone. Our first comment of the day comes from Joan Ambitious Powell saying, so I was very quiet yesterday, sitting in my hotel room. My kids walked in and said, you look so sad. Are you depressed? Because there's no Bradshaw Live? Then they started playing some previous videos, then started laughing at me. I just love me some Bradshaw Live, informative and educational.
Wow! We actually ruined her night by not coming live. I feel terrible.
Spoken like a true VIP.
Oh,
Right.
we ruined her night. That's awful.
Well, I hope that tonight is better for you.
Yes, I'm glad we're back. That's awful.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to feel guilty when we go on vacation. Oh, gosh. What is she going to do?
Her kids are going to play her own
Yeah,
videos.
I guess. All right.
From Sasha Ken's saying, Brad, I'm crying tears of joy. How you helped my family. Love you, Uncle Brad.
Aw, thank you very much.
Awesome.
My pleasure.
And our third one comes from Seema Singh saying, Mr. Brad, I got my letter to do my biometric. I can't tell you how excited I am. You are doing such a great service to us all. Thanks.
Oh, thank you very much and congratulations.
So our last comment of the day comes from VIP Sasha Ford saying, Sarinya's story is truly inspiring. Where you are from should not determine what career path you take, breaking the barriers in all areas of society. Love that.
Oh, very nice. Thank you, Sasha. I agree with that as well. All right, well, thanks all for watching. We will be back tomorrow, God willing, for Hump Day. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465. What are you doing?